Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System. From a touch-tone telephone.
All right, I'll try one more time and then we'll have to call them to see why they're not answering.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has previously been sworn.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, and you are remoting into BRC1 today?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Just let me know when you've made contact.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí.
Connected, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Enrique Hernández Martínez.
Enrique Hernández Martínez.
All right, sir, you're here in case number 2020 MM6612AO. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence, resisting an officer without violence, and battery. I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
I
And-
apologize, Your Honor, but the victim also needs an interpreter.
Okay, and then, Mr. Interpreter, we do have a witness who has indicated to the state that she does need the interpreter as well. So is it best that we take the headphones off and we just interpret everything at once?
The interpreter can interpret over the speakers, Your Honor, in this case.
Okay, so we'll take the headphones off of Mr. Hernandez Martinez. All right, and so, good morning, ma'am. Can you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Buenos días, señora. Levante su mano derecha para que preste juramento.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura decir la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Si me da su nombre y si por favor no me deletrea lentamente su apellido, por favor.
Gabriela Reyes, R-E, E-S.
Gabriela Reyes. R-E-Y-E-S.
Do you also go by Benavides?
¿Usted también tiene apellido Benavides?
Sí.
Yes.
And Ms. Bush, did you want me to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, for purposes
¿O
of...
se pregunta? Sí, su señoría.
All right, and how do you know Mr. Hernandez Martinez?
Señora, ¿y cómo es que usted conoce al señor Hernández Martínez?
Oh, él es mi pareja.
He's my partner.
And how long have you been together?
¿Hace cuánto que llevan juntos?
Casi 2 años.
Almost 2 years.
Okay. And are you afraid of him?
¿Y usted le tiene temor a él?
No, es primera vez
No.
que lo veo así, no sé qué le pasó.
It's the first time I ever see him like that. I don't know what happened to him.
Do you think drugs or alcohol was involved in what occurred?
Usted tiene que... ¿Piensa usted que esto pudo haber sido un asunto de tragos o de drogas?
Pues es que yo andaba trabajando, pero él no consume drogas, pero cuando vine él estaba así, no sé qué le pasó. Pero él no consume drogas, no, la verdad no sé qué le pasó ayer, el día de ayer.
Well, I don't know, because I was working, and I know that he doesn't do any drugs, but he was like that when I came home, and I really don't know what happened to him yesterday. I know that he doesn't do drugs.
Okay. Do you want to have contact with him through the pending of this case?
¿Quiere usted entonces mantener y seguir en contacto con él mientras este caso está en curso?
No, pues por mí no hay problema porque es primera vez lo que pasó ayer. No, anteriormente no me había levantado la mano ni nada de eso.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. This never happened before. He never raised a hand before to me.
If something like this were to happen again, or you felt threatened, would you call law enforcement?
Si algo así sucediera de nuevo, otra vez o usted se sintiera amenazada, usted llamaría a la policía, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you, I see that there was a child present. Are you afraid for the safety of your child?
Veo aquí que había un menor o una menor presente. ¿Teme usted por la integridad física de ese menor
No,
o niño?
no,
No.
él lo cuida mucho, pero ayer no sé la verdad qué pasó. No me entiendo, yo venía de trabajar y cuando vine ya miré todo eso que estaba la policía ahí afuera.
You know, he loves the kid, and but I don't know what is it that happened yesterday. I don't even understand what happened. You know, everything that went on yesterday with the police and everything out there.
Okay. And Ms. Bush, did you have any additional questions?
¿Pero mucha alguna pregunta?
The only additional question is regarding the other two listed victims.
Right.
And just to inquire as to what their relationship is to Mr. Hernandez.
Sí, la pregunta que yo tengo nada más tiene que ver con las otras dos víctimas que aparecen ahí y quería saber qué tipo de relación tienen esas personas con el señor Hernández.
No sé cuáles dos víctimas son porque es que no sé, cuando yo vine él ya estaba arrestado.
I don't know who those two victims are. When I came, he had already been arrested.
Ms. Bush, I see only, there's a count of battery, and one victim for the battery. I don't know who they list 3 victims,
Yes, Your Honor.
but 2 batteries, one of which is domestic.
Sí, no sé, porque aquí aparecen 3 víctimas y aparecen, una sé que es una de las dos agresiones, sé que una es la agresión intrafamiliar, pero no sé la otra.
They list them all living at the same address.
Yes, Your Honor.
Y ellos aparecen ahí detallando que todos viven en el mismo domicilio.
And Your Honor, perhaps if I provide the names, she might recognize the names.
Bueno, quizás si yo lea los nombres, su señoría, ella reconozca esos nombres.
Sí.
Yes.
The first name is Rosa Rivera,
Primer nombre, Rosa Rivera.
Sí.
and the
Yes.
other name is Rosa Rivera Martinez.
Y el otro nombre es Rosa Rivera Martínez.
O son la misma persona. Es la misma
They are
persona.
one and the same.
I'm sorry?
Es la misma
They are one
persona.
and
Rosa Rivera y Rosa Rivera es la misma persona.
Rosa Rivera Martínez is one person.
Okay.
Bien.
And the question would be, does she know what the relationship is with Mr. Hernandez Martinez?
La pregunta entonces, ¿usted sabe qué relación tiene ella con el señor Hernández Martínez? ¿Qué tipo de relación?
Oh, es
Tesco.
nomás es una amiga conocida de nosotros que nos apoyó cuando venimos aquí, pero siempre nos hemos llevado bien con ella, pero es que no te sabría explicar lo que pasó ayer porque yo no estaba.
Está bien, señora. Well, she's a friend, an acquaintance. She was the person who helped us when we came here, and we have a good relationship with her. So that's I cannot explain to you what happened.
I think as I'm reading it, I'm seeing that Rosa Rivera is the neighbor who saw the defendant, and then the daughter of Rosa Rivera, Rosa Gloria Martinez Rivera, translated a statement. I don't know how she's a listed victim.
Sí, aquí veo que Rosa Rivera es una vecina que por lo que veo aquí en este registro y ella vio al acusado y parece que Rosa Gloria fue la persona que hizo la traducción, pero aquí no aparece que sea una víctima.
Oh,
And it appears that, at least from what I read, it appeared that one of the batteries occurred between one of those two,
Parece por
between
lo que
him and
veo-
one of those two ladies.
La agresión física ocurrió entre él y una de esas dos damas.
When
it is very confusing. There's one listed victim. I think the one who interpreted is also listed as a victim, but just indicated that he aggressively approached her.
And the other one,
Está confuso porque no es la víctima, parece que él se fue agresivo con la que estuvo traduciendo.
it says that Enrique grabbed the top of her shirt near her throat and held it with a closed fist.
Dice que Enrique agarró a la parte de las camisas con el puño cerrado hacia el cuello.
All right, Mr. Matos, do you have any questions?
Yeah,
So
I
my
found probable cause
preguntas.
for both of the things, but, and you guys just answered all my questions, so no questions from the defense.
We
Una pregunta
answered
la
all your
ya
questions.
contestaron. Aquí ya contestaron las preguntas.
Okay, so, thank you, ma'am, for your testimony. Based on what I've read in here, there's a lot going on, and I'm not comfortable allowing contact today, especially with the child victim present and in your arms at the time of the battery.
Bueno, basando aquí hay mucha tela que cortar realmente con este caso. Así que yo no me siento cómoda permitiéndole el contacto a primeras, así, y sobre todo porque estaba un menor presente cuando se presentó la agresión, por eso también.
I'll correct myself. The allegation is that he was holding the child, not you, at that time.
En este momento la acusación es que él tenía la menor, no usted, en ese momento, esa aclaración.
So I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or any witness in the case.
Se va a prohibir contacto directo o indirecto con cualquier víctima o víctima que haya sido enumerada en el caso.
His attorneys will have to file a motion to modify that. That will have to be done in writing by a judge.
Los abogados pues tendrán que presentar un recurso para modificar estas condiciones y que sea avalado por un juez.
I'm also ordering that he maintain a separate residence.
También ordeno que él tenga residencia por separado.
He may return one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings that he may need.
Él puede volver una sola vez en compañía de las autoridades para que él recoja efectos personales que pueda necesitar.
You may not possess any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition.
También se le prohíbe todo tipo de parque de municiones o armas de cualquier tipo, incluyendo armas de fuego.
You may not possess any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription or consume them.
También se le prohíbe el consumo de alcohol y de sustancias ilegales o de cualquier narcótico, a menos que sea un narcótico con prescripción médica.
And you must comply with any DCF or Department of Children and Families investigation that is pending.
Y también debe colaborar con cualquier investigación pendiente que esté realizando el Departamento de Niños y Familias.
Sir, you also have an immigration detainer that you would not be able to be released until that is lifted.
Señor, también usted tiene una solicitud de retención por inmigración, así que igual con eso, pues no se le puede liberar hasta que se aclare el asunto con inmigración.
You do qualify for pretrial release. I am going to place you on pretrial release.
Usted sí califica para la libertad provisional, así que sí voy a designar esa libertad provisional.
But again,
Pero-
if you have questions, yes, did someone say something?
¿Alguien
Ma'am.
dijo algo?
Ah, es que él está con permiso aquí en Estados Unidos. Lo que pasa que él se enfermó y no se pudo presentar a la corte que tenía con migración. Entonces me imagino que por eso es que él está, por eso no sé, por eso lo que me mencionaste ahorita de lo de inmigración.
Yes, he has a permit to be here in the U.S., but he got sick, so he couldn't show up for an immigration court. So I think that's why the situation, I don't know, that's what I think it is, what you just said about the immigration matter.
I don't know, ma'am, and I don't work for the immigration system, so that's something that immigration will have to work out with him.
Sí, señora, yo pues no sé de eso y yo no trabajo con el Departamento de Inmigración. Eso será algo que tendrá que llegar a un acuerdo entre él y el Departamento de Inmigración.
So they will probably come and talk to him.
Sí, probablemente ellos vengan y conversen con él,
But he cannot be released until that detainer is lifted.
pero él no se le puede poner en libertad hasta que se retire esa orden de solicitud de inmigración.
So, Mr. Hernandez Martinez, if you have questions about the detainer or anything else, contact the Public Defender's Office and they can assist you with that.
Así que, señora Hernández, si usted tiene alguna pregunta referente a la retención, usted puede ya conversar con el abogado público que ya se le designó.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Gracias.
Número te van a poner a hablar con una
Gracias,
persona.
señora.
¿Puedo hacer otra
Un abogado.
pregunta?
Él te va a decir
May I
cualquier
ask another
pregunta que tú
question?
tengas.
Yes, I can try and answer.
¿Puedo hacerle?
Que quería preguntar si él va a estar aquí o hay que pagar bajo fianza, porque él la verdad a mí no me ha hecho nada, no ha pasado nada conmigo. No sé lo que pasó ayer, al menos que hablen con las otras dos personas víctimas que salen en los papeles.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, can he bond out? Because he hasn't talked to me anything about this yet. I don't know much of what happened yesterday, but maybe after they talk to the other two victims.
So I've ordered no contact. I placed him on pretrial release, meaning he will not have to post a monetary bond, but he cannot be released until immigration lifts their detainer.
Sí, bueno, como ya yo indiqué, yo le concedí a él lo que se llama libertad provisional, también prohibí el contacto con usted. Así que como es libertad provisional, no hay que pagar ningún tipo de dinero, ningún tipo de fianza. Sin embargo, no lo puedo dejar ir hasta que inmigración le dé el pase de que pueda irse, porque todavía de momento está solicitado por inmigración.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Good luck.
Gracias, señora.
Thank
¿Ya
you.
me puedo
Bueno.
ir?
Así que asegúrate
May I
de con
leave?
ese número.
Can I go now?
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Sí,
you.
señora. Gracias, señora.
Do we? We have two Spanish. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Buenos días, señor. Por favor, ¿me da su nombre?
Oh, we're
Eddie
back on the
Bonnet
headset.
Rodriguez.
I'm sorry, Mr. Interpreter.
No problem, Your Honor.
Derek Bonnet Rodriguez.
Derek
Rodriguez.
Bonet Rodríguez.
Sir, you're here in 2020 CF 109670. You are arrested for destruction of evidence and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in your case. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any drugs without a valid prescription. Your bond on count 1 is 500, count 2 is 100. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Juan Manuel González Santos.
Juan Manuel González Santos.
Sir, you're here on an Osceola County warrant 2019 MM 3989. And the judge in the case did set your bond at none. And I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you here. They should be able to coordinate with Osceola County. However, we will reach out to Osceola County and see if the judge in Osceola will agree to give you a bond in the case. So we should reset you back on the docket. Okay, sir?
Your Honor,
Okay,
a witness showed.
okay. Do you need the interpreter, ma'am?
No,
Okay, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes, I do.
Okay. And then can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
My name is Kitza Rivera, Kitza Rrvera.
Okay, and then how do you know Mr. Gonzalez Santos?
He is my husband.
Okay. And then are you the alleged victim in the case?
Yes,
Okay, and there's a domestic violence injunction in place?
yes.
Okay. Is there something you want me to know? I'm not the judge who would be handling the case. It's an Osceola case.
Okay, I just want to clarify that we met, we met each other yesterday because he signed the divorce paperwork yesterday, and I know that he has warrant in Osceola County, but that was in 2019. I just want to clarify that.
Okay, I don't know anything about the case in Osceola. I only have I don't have the warrant itself. I just have a piece of paper indicating that he had a warrant and that they arrested him. So they
Okay.
brought him here. So what we're going to do is, we, as one of the judges here, will contact the judge in Osceola County. Obviously, there is an injunction in place, so there, eventually when he comes back, if the judge agrees to give him a bond with certain conditions, we will impose that, but we will all have to order the no contact because of the injunction.
Yeah,
Is the
sure.
injunction no contact or no hostile contact?
No contact at all.
It's no contact at all. Okay, is there anything else that you wanted me to know?
I just want to clarify that he understands that I didn't put anything in place yesterday. After he signed the paperwork. That's it.
Okay, I will let the judge know who's gonna contact Osceola County. And he'll be back on our docket probably in a couple days. And then, if the judge agrees to give him a bond, he should be entitled to a bond. I don't know if there's any other holds or anything of that nature on him, okay? So, I think you would be you would be legally have to be notified when
Yeah.
he is released,
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, sir, did you have any questions?
Sí, sí. ¿Qué va a pasar conmigo ahora?
Tú vas a durar aquí hasta que la jueza de aquí hable con la juez de Osceola, porque ella no puede cambiar tu sentencia. Entonces, en como un par de días, el juez de Osceola te va a poner un bond y tú vas a poder salirte. En lo tanto, si tú puedes llamar al defensor público a ese número y a ver si ellos hablan con el juez de cosas, porque estamos en el mismo circuito.
Ya. Yo tenía un vehículo rentado cuando me arrestaron. Tengo un vehículo rentado que lo dejaron allí, en el gas station. ¿Qué va a pasar con eso?
Yo en realidad tendrías que hablar con el abogado que tiene tu caso, porque yo no tengo nada de esa información. Entonces llame ese número y él te va a poder explicar más o menos qué está pasando.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
Gracias.
And I think that is it, but I'm not sure. If you could just make an announcement, Mr. Interpreter, I don't know if anybody needs your services in the gallery, if they could raise their hand if they do.
Yes, Your Honor. At the court request, the interpreter will make a brief announcement in Spanish. ¿Alguno de los presentes requiere servicios de intérprete en español para dar testimonio? Levante la mano.
All right, I don't see anyone's hands raised. Thank you so much. You have a great weekend.
You too, Your Honor.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
F. Harris.
All right, Ms. Harris, you're here in 2020 MM 6597AO. You're arrested for trespass in a structure as a refusal to leave. There's probable cause. And Ms. Bush, did you have an offer for Ms. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 7 days, Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no contact with victim or witnesses, no return to the scene, which is the Orange Blossom Shopping Center, Save-A-Lot store, and abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
All right, Ms. Harris, did you want to accept the state's offer?
But
You have to keep your mask on, ma'am.
oh, I can't. I don't know how to read
You have to
anything.
keep the mask on, or I will not permit you to stay in the courtroom.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So, did you want to accept the state's offer?
What is it?
7 days with credit for 2 days time served. You may not go back to the save a lot. And you'll have to abide by the trespass warning and no contact with victims or witnesses in the case.
Okay, when is my release date?
You wanted, I don't know what your release date will be, but you'll spend a couple days here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
Did you read the plea form, Ms. Harris?
Yeah,
Okay. Did you understand everything on it?
yeah.
Are you on probation? Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Okay.
Is that a yes, or do you understand what I just told you?
Yes, I understand.
All right, I find a factual basis. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days with credit for 2 days time served. No contact with victims or witnesses, abide by the trespass. Not to return back to 4622 South Orange Blossom Trail. I'll order you pay court costs by September 11th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. Good luck, Ms. Harris.
All right.
All right, and then, do we have Ms. Glover Gamble's client? Okay, is this, okay. And what was the name?
William Montanez Jr.
Mon- Montanez, and it's a misdemeanor battery?
No, Your Honor, it's a violation of a no contact.
Okay, but it's under the misdemeanors?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Okay, I'm just gotta know where to look in my pile. Okay. All right, and Ms. Glover Gambles, I see you do represent him in his other case that he's out on release on. Are you filing, or have you filed a notice of appearance in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Okay, all right. And then, sir, can you tell me your name?
William Montanez.
All right, you're here in 2020 MM 5761. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for a violation of an injunction, and I have read the affidavit as well as the injunction. And so, Ms. Glover Gambles, did you wish to be heard?
Just a couple of things, Your Honor. Okay, the officer in the affidavit for arrest warrant indicated that Mr. Montanez had been arrested before on violation of this injunction. That's not accurate. And a review of the court minutes and the court files would show that that has not occurred.
Let me look it up. So you're saying there's been no violation in the misdemeanor case that he's, that I think
Nope.
that's maybe what they would be referring to?
Well, it says, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
There's
I
no-
just want to make sure we're.
Neither in the domestic or the misdemeanor case did that occur.
Okay, so I see he was arrested on the out on release case on the 10th of April. There was a no contact order. He bonded out, and information was then filed in the end of April. And then I don't see it. I agree. There's been
Nothing
no
else.
or no allegation of any violation in the court file
No, Your
for
Honor.
that particular case. I don't know if there was another case. I don't know.
There's
I
no
don't-
other case, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I'll represent him in both cases. We're here to ask the court for a reasonable bond for him. He will appear in court. He understands that he is to have no contact, Your Honor, whatsoever. We
But does
found out
he?
about,
But does he understand?
yes, he does, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we found out about this warrant, but basically he surrendered himself. He had court on yesterday. For the injunction court, he was to go there and show the judge that he was enrolled in the batteries intervention classes, which he has begun. And he knew that the warrant was outstanding before he went there, Your Honor. So that's an indication that he has every, intention of appearing in court. He won't just fail to appear. And I believe he has a clear understanding at this point that he is to make no contact whatsoever with the
I mean,
victim.
so he was told, obviously, when he was arrested, he got a no contact order, and then there was an injunction, I believe, probably after that.
Yes, probably.
Because there wasn't one at the time of the arrest,
Right.
I don't believe, so.
Probably later
And
in
then he was
April.
told no contact there too. And then the allegations are that he's offering money to drop charges, as well as contacting, by phone, texting, at least 2 contacts, so, Ms. Bush, did you wish to be heard?
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond. As to this matter, which is a violation of the domestic violence injunction, that's what this arrest is for. And as to the out on bond with the no contact order, the state will defer to the court as to whether or not that release is modified in any way.
All right, so Mr. Montanez, I want to make it very clear to you that you have now, there's an injunction, you have a no contact order, and if you violate anything again, I have no problem revoking your bonds on both cases and you sitting in jail. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so no phone calls, no text messages, no communication through a third party whatsoever to the victim
I
in the case.
understand.
Okay. You're gonna abide by the injunction that is in place in 2020 DR 003993-0. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Looks like he had a $2,500 bond on the battery domestic violence that he's out on release for. I'm setting the bond in this case at $5,000. I'm not taking any action on the other case.
Thank you.
But as I stated, if you come back before me, or I'm sure any other judge, and they see that you have either violated any law, whether it's violation of a no contact order or the injunction or anything else, chances are you're gonna be sitting in jail for a while, okay?
I understand.
All right. All right,
And thank you, Your Honor.
all right, thank you. All right, please tell me your name.
Carl Addison.
Mr. Addison, you're here in 2020 CF 1098AO. You were arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement and domestic violence battery. I do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. I do not believe we have any witnesses. I'm ordering that there's no contact, directly or indirectly, with any victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order, Mr. Addison?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that's also with any witnesses in the case, if I didn't say that. So no contact with victims or witnesses. You're to maintain a separate residence. You can return one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings should you need to do so. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am placing you in pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court order as well as pretrial release, okay?
Yes, ma'am. That's it, Your Honor.
That is it.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Donald Davis.
Mr. Davis, you're here in 2020 CF 10209 AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for aggravated battery causing great bodily harm, domestic violence. And I will appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. I do not believe we have any witnesses present. I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes.
All right. You're also to maintain a separate residence. You are not to return back to the Kings of the South Central Florida Motorcycle Clubhouse at 3131 West Central Boulevard. You're not to, or you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return to the residence one time with law enforcement should you need to do so to get your things. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Your bond is set at $10,000. Thank you, sir.
Next person, David Ramsey, is mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, I am gonna appoint the public defender for Mr. Ramsey. 2020 CF 10990AO. Mr. Matos, do you wish to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's battery on a person 65 years of age or older, 2 counts of that, and resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause, and there's to be no contact directly or indirectly with any victim in the case. Maintain separate residences, may return one time with law enforcement to get things. No weapons, firearms, or ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bonds on count 1 and 2 are $2,500. Count 3 will be $100. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Taylor Smalls.
Mr. Smalls?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Smalls, you're here in 2020 CF 2868AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for aggravated battery on a pregnant person, criminal mischief over 1,000, domestic violence battery, and tampering with a witness to hinder communication by law enforcement. And it looks like the state did already file an information in the case, and they filed aggravated battery on a pregnant person, battery, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. So they did not file the tampering. So what I'm gonna do is I'm ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also to maintain a separate residence. I don't believe that you live together, correct?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. And so, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. All right, I am setting the bond on count 1 at $2,500. Count 2 is the criminal mischief at $150. I'm gonna ROR on the tampering with a witness, and then $500 on the battery, and I'm including plus pretrial release in this case. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I don't really understand, like, the bond.
Why don't you ask Mr. Matos to explain anything that you do not understand?
Okay, you're writing on a warrant. Somebody called in, gave some details of the thing, and they found out like maybe those crimes. Then you write yourself in. So at that point, the warrant set some bonds. One of the bonds, because the state already filed on your case, they took I think it was criminal mischief, one of the tampering with a witness thing out, and then she gave you bonds and the rest of your charges. That's your 10% right there. Any other questions? Dr. Moore, you can call that number. You speak to your attorney. That's
All right, thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Arthur Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, you're here in 2020 MM 6605AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I am ordering that there's no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I am placing you in pretrial release with random urinalysis. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Good morning, Mrs. Judge. Ramon Brisbane.
All right,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Brisbane, you're here in 2020 MM 6604AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're also to maintain a separate residence.
I got one.
You're not to return back to the victim's residence.
I ain't.
You may, do you have anything over there that you need?
With my clothes, I need to get my clothes from the hotel.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And I go to my sister's house
Okay.
over there on 629
I'll
20th
give-
Street.
Okay, I'll give you an opportunity to go with law enforcement to get your things. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is set at $1,000. You're out on release in two cases, 2020 CF 1923AO, as well as 2020 CF 1906AO. I am revoking the releases and setting those at none. Looks like you do have attorneys in those cases.
Yeah, I got Mr. Cheeks.
Right, so you're gonna have to
So I gotta
contact
stay in.
Mr. Cheek in order to file a bond motion for you, okay?
So I gotta contact him. It's
Yeah.
hard to contact him. You know the region number, the address.
Is that the Regional Conflict Council?
Yeah, that's what he is. It's hard to contact him.
I can get
And I
you-
was already. I
I
posted
can-
the bonds.
Okay, hold on. I can get you the number.
I gotta sign this one too.
No.
So if I post I want to ask a question. So, Miss, if I post my bond, Judge, on this one, I can't still get out because my other bond's posted.
You're gonna have to have them file a motion in the trial division.
Yeah, I go to trial November, I think September, November one. I go to pretrial 29th here.
All right, do you all have a pen over there?
Your Honor, I've written it down.
Okay, it's 407-389-5140.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
A number?
All right, thank you, sir.
I can't see that good. That's what I'm trying
You can look at it like, come over.
to. Okay. So everything good?
Yes, we're done. Thank you, sir.
So I got $100 bond on that.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Antonio Cyprian.
Mr. Cyprian, you're here in 2020 MM 6591AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. Yes, Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor, I just wanted to let the court know that the victim in the matter did come here, is downstairs, was not allowed upstairs because of an excessive cough and not feeling well.
Okay,
So I just wanted to put it on the record.
okay. All right. Did you speak with her, or?
I did not.
Okay, all right.
I was just informed that she was not allowed to come up.
Okay, obviously, did not pass the medical screening.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, sir. Mr. Cyprian, I'm ordering no contact with the victim in the case.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have you sign the no contact order. If you want that to be modified, your attorneys will have to file a motion to modify that in the trial division.
I just want to make noted that the victim,
I don't think you should say anything.
no, I just want to say that.
I don't think you should say anything,
won't.
so why don't you tell Mr. Matos, he's your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
He's saying that the victim is his mother.
The victim is what?
His mother?
I understand. I've read the affidavit, okay? So I'm ordering no contact. Appears as though there was just an injunction in place that may have been expired, but there was an injunction. It looks like you pled to the violation of the injunction in January. I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is set at $1,000. I am revoking the release in 2019 CF 15706AO as well as 2019 CF 15385AO and setting the bonds at none. Does he have an attorney in those cases? I don't see anybody listed on here.
So you're gonna have to put
Okay,
your
looks like the
attorney down
public
so you can
defender
file
was
bond
previously
motions on those two
appointed.
bonds.
They're going to have to file
And
bond motions for
You
you, Mr.
can't go
Cyprian.
back to the house until there's a modification of contact. You're gonna have to call your attorney and also tell him that.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Oh,
Tracy Flynn is mental health, Your Honor.
okay, do we have a witness here for Ms. Flint?
No, Your Honor.
No? There's a gentleman standing up, so I don't know if he's here for her. Okay, I'm not sure.
I did not
Okay.
have that.
Okay, so you said mental health?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm gonna appoint the public defender for Ms. Flint. And, Mr. Matos, did you wish to waive?
Yes, Your
All right, it's 2020 MM 6602AO. It's a battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. And so there's to be no contact directly or indirectly with any victim. Maintain separate residence. May return one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. She's to take all medication as prescribed by her doctor, and I will place her in pretrial release. Can they still not hear out there? Is that an issue?
I think they fixed it.
They fixed it? Are you able to hear out there, sir?
I am, yes.
Okay, okay. We had problems with the speakers before, so I
Sure.
just want to make sure that was resolved. Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Donna Middleton.
Miss Middleton, you're here in 2020 MM 6606AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. We have a witness, sir. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and I'm just gonna need you to speak loudly and no, well, you can take, that's fine, you're by yourself, so just into the microphone for me. Okay.
Yes.
All right, and then please tell me your name and spell your last name.
Ernest Reed Barr, B-A-H-R.
Okay, Mr. Barr. And, Ms. Bush, did you want to inquire?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Barr, what is your relationship with Miss Middleton?
She's my girlfriend, live-in girlfriend.
And you all are down here on vacation?
We're down here for my birthday, yes.
And how long have you been in a relationship?
We've been together for 6 months.
Are you afraid of her?
No,
Do you have any concerns for your safety?
none at all.
Do you want to have continued contact with her while this case is pending?
I do, and I don't wish to proceed with any kind of,
And this is not the time for that, but you are certainly welcome to let the state attorney's office know that you don't want to proceed.
okay.
Over the course of the 6 months, has there ever been any violence in your relationship?
Nothing but arguments.
And if something like this were to happen again, and you felt in some way threatened, would you be comfortable calling law enforcement?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Matos? Okay. And you're supposed to be heading back to Ohio today.
Our flight leaves at 2 o'clock today.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get on that flight. Okay. So I'm going to allow you to have non-hostile, non-violent contact. So that means no pushing, biting, hitting, scratching, taking any items, hitting him over the head, getting in his face, being disrespectful, saying mean things. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Was she trespassed from the hotel?
I'm sorry?
Was she trespassed from the hotel?
I'm not sure I understand. No, she was there with me.
Okay, but they didn't serve her with a trespass
No.
warning? Okay. All right, so, I don't see why she would not qualify for pretrial release. I'm ordering non-hostile contact.
She qualifies,
Okay.
she just needs to be interviewed.
Okay, I'm gonna place you on pretrial release, Miss Middleton. Make sure you comply, it's phone in, okay? So you'll have to check in. If you violate that, you could get a warrant, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. She'll be released and they'll have to process her, I don't know when. I
If that
think that
number's
you can
public
call,
offenders, you can call them if you have any questions.
254-7500, 407-254-7500. I think that's pretrial release. They should be able to tell you when she'll be ready so that, or you can, feel free to wait, but you'll probably be waiting a little while,
Okay.
okay? All right.
Thank you.
Get home safe, okay. Tell me your name, sir.
Jonathan Aaron Moore.
All right, Mr. Moore, you're here in 2020 MM 6594AO. You were arrested for dating violence battery. Do you find that there's probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. I am ordering that there's no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, you must maintain a separate residence. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, and no alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Your bond is $500.
Your Honor, can I get out on a release of my own recognizance? I don't have any money. I'm on unemployment. I have no criminal record, never been arrested before in my adult life.
Is there a reason why he did not qualify? Where are you living? It's sober living?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Where is that? What's
That
the
is in,
address?
it is 1507 Lamplighter Court in Pine Hills. I moved away from this woman. I haven't had any contact
Okay, I
with
don't want you
her.
to talk
Sorry.
about any facts or anything like
Okay.
that. I'm just trying to figure out where you're living, and so it's the address, the 1507 Lamplighter Avenue, or Way, excuse me?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the, what's the name of the sober living facility?
I don't, I've only been there for 4 days. I don't know.
Okay. But that's where you're getting your mail to,
Yes, ma'am.
and you still have a bed there?
I have a room, yes, I do.
Okay, all right, so I think, I'm gonna order you into pretrial release, okay? So, make sure you comply. I'm gonna order that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release as well, so that if that address is not where you're gonna be, you know where, you'll let them know where you're gonna be.
Okay.
Okay? Make sure you keep everyone apprised of your address. Don't miss any court dates,
No,
okay?
I'm not going anywhere. That's home.
Depends on the state. Is she heard? Like a lot of? Or no? That all depends on.
me your name.
My name is Jennifer Sellers.
All right, Ms. Sellers,
Social distancing.
you're here in 2020 MM 6607AO. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. I'm ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I don't believe that you live together, correct?
In South Carolina, we do.
They do
Okay.
in South Carolina, yeah.
All right, so I'll allow you to go back one time with law enforcement to get your things, not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And you live in South Carolina. Were you trespassed from the location?
Trust, no, we were at my grandma's house.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was a hotel. Okay. All right, and I think I said no weapons or firearms or any ammunition? Yes, okay. All right, I'm setting your bond at $500.
Ma'am, could I ask for some leniency on that? Because I'm pregnant right now and I have 2 children.
Okay, well, ma'am, you don't live here, first of all. Second of all, I'm looking at your out-of-state convictions. And then notes indicating here that you have a record of domestic violence in South Carolina and a record of failures to appear. I'm staying the bond at the 500. Please tell me your name.
Amy, wait.
Miss Waite, you're here in 2020 MM 445AA. You are arrested for domestic violence battery. If you find probable cause, I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm ordering no contact directly or indirectly with any victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on that order, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is set at $1,000. I believe you do have a 5-day hold. I don't know if that will be the full 5 days, but you're on probation, so that's for the probation, okay?
That's your bond. You have a hold, so, but you can call it if you have any questions to your public defender.
All right, are we going right into the misdemeanors, or are we doing the add-on? Okay. Tell me your name. Tell me your name, sir. Can you hear?
Rodney Graham. I
Can-
can't hardly hear, so.
Okay, we'll get you the headphones, okay? Hold on.
This didn't work the other day either.
Can you hear me now, Mr.
Oh,
Graham?
yeah.
Much better, okay. All right, you're here on a Lake County status hearing, case number 2019 CF 706. And per Judge Davis in Lake County, your bond is to remain at no bond still, okay? So we've reached out to them, and the public defender was appointed initially when you first came in. So now the next step is for you to contact them, or Mr. Matos can contact whoever's handling your case, and for them to file a bond hearing, and that would be heard here, okay, in Orange County.
So who did I talk to?
Public Defender's Office, so they're gonna give you that piece of paper, that's their number. You tell them that you need them to file a bond motion here in Orange County for your Lake County case.
Great.
It has a short, it's the way it's being,
Great.
it's like, yeah, that better? Yeah, it's like the way it angles. So their next step is to contact the number that he gave you. Ask them to file a bond motion here for your case in Lake County, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Toby Perkins.
All right, Mr. Perkins, you're here for a Lake County status in 2020 CF 1067. And the public defender was previously appointed per Judge Davis. Your bond is also to remain at no bond. So just as I told the other gentleman, contact the public defender. Tell them that you need them to file a bond motion here for you for the Lake County case, okay? And that was 2020 CF 1067. All right?
Yes,
Luck
ma'am.
for him.
The next one, Your Honor, Arias is medical.
All right, so that's, the PD was previously appointed. Mr. Matos, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, for Mr. Arias, it's Collier County status 1701464. There's a long note here. So per Judge Foster, Mr. Arias qualifies as a violent felony offender of special concern and should not be given a bond per Florida statute 903.0351. His attorney in, I guess, Collier County has filed a motion to set bond there, and they're working on getting that set so that they can have the proper evidentiary hearing on his violent felony offender of special concern status and potential danger to the community. So if after the hearing a bond is approved, I believe that means that Judge Foster will advise us of that, okay?
Next person, Your Honor, Denise Davenport is medical.
Okay. I'm gonna appoint the public defender in 2020 MM 6601. Is this a like 2-week medical?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will, reset, Ms. Davenport for tomorrow. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer? And then, cause I'm not gonna be here, maybe we can just put that in the notes as a possible plea offer. I didn't see any prior.
Yes, Your Honor, it would be an adjudication and a 5-day offer.
Okay, so adjudication of guilt, 5 days, and I would order no contact or no return
And abide by
to the
trespass
Walmart
warning.
and, yeah, abide by any trespass.
I was just making sure that everything was recovered, and I believe it was.
It was 106 items totaling $618.77, so. So we will reset for tomorrow, and
The next one, Jimmy Lord Leggett is mental health, Your Honor.
okay. What name?
Leggett, Jimmy?
Oh, okay.
Here every week. He's here every
And
week.
you said mental health?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, 2020 MM 444AA, and I'm gonna appoint the public defender. Mr. Matos, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's a trespassing, failing to leave the property after, being ordered to leave, and there's probable cause. No return back to the 70, it's like Park Avenue Golden Pond at 72 East Main Street in Apopka, Florida. Abide by the trespass, no contacts, victims, or witnesses. I am gonna stay the bond at the $500. The public defender can file the appropriate motions in the case, and I'm not taking any action on the out on release cases. Good morning, tell me your name.
Juan Mercado.
Mr. Mercado, you're here in 2020 MM 6603. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer? Oh, I find probable cause. And do you have an offer for Mr. Mercado?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no contact with witnesses, no return to the scene, and abide by all trespass warnings.
All right, Mr. Mercado, did you want to resolve your case today with that offer?
I don't understand.
Were you able to hear it?
I don't understand what you say.
Okay, it's an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, so the time that you've been here is 2 days, they've counted as 2 days, no return back to where you were trespassed from. It looks like the Link Central Station at 455 North Garland Avenue, and abide by the trespass warning, no contact with victims or witnesses, and I would give you a year to pay your court costs off.
I don't have any money.
I would give you a year to pay your court costs off.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to accept the state's offer?
Yeah.
Okay, did you read the plea form?
I can't have my glasses.
So you were not able to read the plea form?
I can't see on my glasses.
Okay, well, I'm gonna appoint the public defender, Mr. Matos. Do you wanna go over the plea form with Mr. Mercado?
All right, Your Honor, we can proceed.
All right, so Mr. Mercado, did you understand the plea form?
Yes.
Did Mr. Matos answer all your questions?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any additional questions about it? Okay. Do you understand, all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Okay, are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, I find a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days' time served. No return back to the Link Central Station at 455 North Garland Avenue. Abide by the trespass warning. No contact with victims or witnesses. I'll order that you pay your court costs by September 11th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Can I take this one? No, okay.
Tell me your name.
Hello, good morning. This is Desiree A. Nacarado.
All right, Ms. Nacarado, you're here in 2020 MM 6596AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. And Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's a withhold of adjudication, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served. No return to the Courtyard Inn Suites at 4120 Taft Vineland Road. No contact with witnesses. Abide by all trespass warnings and court costs.
All right, Ms. Nacarado, did you want to accept the state's offer?
The issue with that is they are holding my belongings and they will dispose of them.
I'll give you an opportunity to go back with law enforcement to get your things.
Okay, because they gave me 48 hours only, which would
Okay.
take me through tomorrow.
Well, you'll get out today,
Okay,
okay?
and then what does that mean?
That means that you can go and call law enforcement and go over there with them and get your things.
Okay, and then that's it?
And I would give you a year to pay your court costs off.
And how much is that?
I think it's $273.
$273? Okay.
Okay?
Yep. And now will I have a record?
It's a withhold of adjudication, okay?
So will
that
this
means
come
it's
up
not a-
with-
It's
this-
not a conviction.
Okay.
But you may have to report that to an employer if they ask you a specific question about if you've ever had, any kind of withhold of adjudication or an adjudication. So it
Okay.
just depends on, I can't give you legal advice, but
No, all right. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I'd like
if
to
you
be able
don't,
to.
if you don't want to accept the offer today, I would release you and you would just have to come back to court.
And then the terms of that are to then go through a guilty or non-guilty plea?
I would
And-
appoint the public defender, and then you would get a court date, and you would have to go back to court for this case. Or you could resolve it today with that offer that I just told you.
I have no objections to going back. Like I said, I don't believe I did anything that they.
Okay, well, I don't want you to talk
Okay,
about. if
all
you-
right. I don't want to lose my belongings, and then this having some.
Either way, you would be getting out today, okay? So you can take the state's offer, or I can release you, and then you can go back to court, and you can fight it, or you can resolve it later.
And then there would be further costs incurred?
I can't tell you that, I don't know.
Can I?
Do you want to, Mr. Matos, maybe you can, as a friend of the court, if I'm
That's-
gonna release her, I'm
not
gonna
from
appoint
here,
you.
So, I mean, I'm visiting, so if I were to pass, I mean, like I said, I just.
I don't want you to say what
yes, okay, so-
happened, or start talking about what happened.
Right.
Want to get a fight? She said she will release you today. You just go, are you going to return? Fight it, and there's a chance that you might be able to release back. I'm sure.
Well, will I incur additional costs
Well,
and fines and fees?
that's a question.
Well, I mean, is it a right, I mean, from the legal standpoint, from the court and the state, I don't.
I don't want to say our charges is like $50 for addition, but I think that if you're not indigent, there's further costs.
Right, they get incurred, and it accrues interest and stuff, so this way, if they find and turn the resolution not against me, I may have to pay more.
So just questions like about money, or they, I don't know.
All right, Mr. Matos, I don't think she knows what she wants to do and probably hasn't had a long time to think about it or talk
Yeah.
to somebody
Well,
about
I mean,
it. So, Ms.
Sorry.
Nacarado, I'm
Sorry.
gonna order that you're not to return back to the Courtyard Inn Suites at 4120 Taft Island Road. You can go back with law enforcement to get your things.
Okay,
You're to abide by the trespass warning. No contact with any victims or witnesses. I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance. I'm gonna order that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release so
Okay.
that they know how to get in touch with you.
okay,
You're gonna get a court date when you get out. Do not miss your court date. If you do, you'll get a warrant and you may be held at no bond, okay?
yeah, no, I would definitely
All
come
right,
back.
good luck, ma'am.
If you ask them, they'll be able to tell you how the money works.
Okay, and then to go back to get my things now, I just called 911,
Or
I guess?
I would not call the 911, call the non-emergency
Non-emergency.
number.
Non-emergency number.
Come on, son. All right, tell me your name.
Darren Olivero.
All right, Mr. Oliveira, you're here in 2020 MM 6600 AO. You're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia and petty theft. I do find that there's probable cause. And Ms. Bush, I don't know if you had an offer today?
No, Your Honor, the state.
Okay, so I'm gonna appoint the public defender for you, Mr. Oliveira. I'm ordering that you're not to return back to the Walmart at 8101 South John Young Parkway. No contact with victims or witnesses. Abide by any trespass warning. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And no drugs, and I think I said no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay at 500 and 100. I didn't, okay, well, now I did. All right, good luck, sir.
That would be your bond.
Good morning, tell me your name.
My name is Pleasure Arnett Sutton.
Ms. Sutton, you're here in 2020 MM 6598. You are arrested for resisting an officer without violence and disorderly conduct. I do find that there's probable cause. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
I do not, Your Honor.
So I am ordering that you do not return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred unless you have a medical emergency.
Yes,
and need
ma'am.
to be there, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the Arnold Palmer Hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
No contact with any witnesses in the case.
Yes,
No-
ma'am.
No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is 500 and 100. I'm not taking any action on your other case. Make sure you don't miss any court dates, okay?
Can I ask you a question?
I would ask Mr. Matos, he's your attorney.
Well, why I got that? I took my grandson to the hospital. This don't, I mean, why I'm sending him with this charge? My grandson was sick. I mean, I had custody of 3 of my grandkids. Why? I ain't even much do nothing.
You haven't been charged. I don't know.
I
This,
know
yeah,
that,
this is
but
a thing.
still, why I
This is
gotta
a
have
plea.
a bond?
Ma'am, you haven't been charged formally. You can fight the charges if you wish to do so. Tell your attorneys
Well, I don't
what
got
you
no
need
money
to
to
tell
burn.
them.
I got a house. I have to take care of my grandkids with my money. I got full custody of 3 of my grandkids. I need to get out of here for them.
She didn't take any action on your out of bond, so you'll be able to bond out.
What, you gonna bond me out?
I can't do that.
Okay, then, that's what I'm asking, sir.
Then I can do a bond motion. I can ask from them to do a bond
Could
motion.
you do that, sir? I have to take care of my grandkids. Okay.
Please tell me your name.
Roberto Bennett Jr.?
Mr. Bennett?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're here in 2020 MM 430580. You are arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for pretrial conference on August 31st, 2020. The judge did set your bond at 1,000 on both counts. Does he have the public defender? Okay, you have the public defender. You'll need to contact them if you cannot make the bonds. Not taking any action on the other cases.
I stayed here and did my time for that. 10 months.
Your Honor, he's saying he went to trial for this battery.
Yeah, and I won.
So 2020 MM 4305, you're saying you went to trial?
Yes, ma'am, and I beat
When was
the
your
case.
trial?
Huh?
When was your trial?
I don't remember, but I sat here for 10 months till I beat it. It was 3 years ago, something like that. I never had a battery that I got away from. I always sat here and did my time. And the lady released me right there out of the courthouse. She released me. She told me you're innocent. She took the
So
handcuffs off.
this was a non-arrest case that came in and he was served with a summons, and then failed to appear. So maybe you're thinking about a different battery, sir.
Ma'am, I've sat here every time and went to
I'm
trial.
letting you know that this case was not resolved. It appears as though
Who's it against? Who's against? If it's a
Mr.
Madeline
Matos
Moreno-
has all of that information.
If
The
it's
public
Madeline
defender
Moreno,
is
I'll
your
give it.
attorney, correct? Yeah.
I wouldn't have that information, but if you call
Try to
your other
find
attorney, he might.
What I'm saying, but it's the only one. It was Madeline Moreno, and I beat that. And that was the last one I had.
It's
That was like 3
Andrew
years.
Reed. Andrew Reed is his attorney
Is his attorney? Oh, okay.
with the public defender's office, yes.
I only have one page of his face sheet, so I don't know any other I think I'm missing some pages.
No, they don't,
Here,
they
I'm
don't
sorry,
put, criminal histories on FTA
the number right
warrants
there, I'll let you
anymore.
Oh, okay, all right. Your case has not been resolved, sir, okay?
All right. Let's say something. Put the bond.
It's 1,000 on each count pursuant to the KPS, yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Kiara Shamika Floyd.
All right, Ms. Floyd, you're here in 2020 CT 4924AO. You failed to appear for an arraignment, and the judge did set your bond at 2,000. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer? It's a violation of a non-resident requirement, I guess, for driving. How much time served does she have? Do we know?
It's 3 days.
How many?
3 days.
3 days? Okay, I mean,
I don't,
I had a bond for it, but I guess when.
I don't even, there we go. No, that's not the right one. If I did not find it earlier.
okay. I mean, I would probably, the credit for
Always
time.
have the traffic cases.
Trying to resolve the case.
4924.
I think she just didn't change her
And
address.
Yeah, I had a Mississippi
And
driver's
my
license.
concern is whether or not, for some reason, it's connected with anything else.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look it up. It may be connected to what she's out on release for.
Yes, Your Honor, that's what I'm trying to pull the document up
Oh,
to
yes,
see
'cause
if
they
there's.
gave me-
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ms. Floyd, your misdemeanor or traffic case is connected to the felony that you're out on release for. And so, I'm not gonna resolve that today because that puts you at the scene and it complicates things for your other case, okay? So your bond will stay at the $2,000. I can't modify that. I'm not permitted to.
I have a question.
Okay,
Ask me.
why don't you talk to the public defender?
What happened?
Cause I posted the bond already, but when they ran my fingerprints, they said that the judge had a detain note on me. That's the only reason why I stayed.
Oh, the detainers, you have to usually come to court. Is that, am I correct on that?
That's what they said downstairs in
So
booking.
you already paid this bond?
I already paid.
Oh, the
I'm
double
not
check.
gonna take any action on the other case. But she was given a court date and then failed to appear for her court date, so.
Yeah, that was my fault, cause I didn't know that you had to check.
So
the
I'm not
public court.
taking any action on the out on
But
release
if you already
case
paid
that's
that bond,
connected
double
to the
check.
traffic case. If you can't make the bond, you'll have to file a bond motion, okay? Do you have the PD on that case, do you know? Okay, I'm gonna appoint the public defender on the cases for her if she doesn't have them on the felony or the misdemeanor. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Sherelle Jonathan.
All right, Ms. Jonathas, you're here in 2020 MM 2329AO, and you failed to appear for a pretrial conference on August 21st, 2020. And the judge did set your bond at 1,000. I don't know if the state has an offer today to resolve the case. I don't have any criminal history at all.
If she wants an offer, the state will give one. However, the concern is she could qualify for diversion. But the offer would be a withhold of adjudication.
Well, they're not doing criminal histories, they just told me they're, and I'm gonna talk to pretrial release about that, because we do resolve a lot of the failures to appear at initial appearance when they get arrested, so I kind of need the criminal history. So I was just told they're not doing them, so I don't know if they can advise us if she has criminal history, otherwise then we'll know if she would qualify or not for,
And this
Yes.
is Ms. Jonathas.
yes.
I have a first appearance information sheet that just says no DNA.
Yeah, they're not doing criminal history.
Oh,
On the
okay.
she just said that, yeah.
She does
Oh,
has criminal history.
She does?
Yes.
Okay, so she's not gonna qualify for pretrial diversion, okay? I'm gonna talk to Sandy about that, because I kinda need that information. All right, so, I don't know what you said, Ms. Bush, about the offer.
Well,
Because the bond.
then the offer would be an adjudication of guilt. will do a credit time served offer, and there's restitution, and that's why I'm being hesitant, because I don't see.
Well, this is the other problem here. She's represented by Ms. Nunzio and not the public defender's office. So,
So at this time, the state's not going to
okay.
convey an
So
offer, Your Honor.
she's gonna have to talk to her attorney about entering a plea. Her bond will remain at the $1,000, and you do have an attorney in the case, ma'am, okay?
Point it to you, but you'd have to call the attorney you have on the case.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Janai Mitchell.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, you're here in 2019 MM 898AW. It's a violation of probation, amended affidavit, and I'm gonna appoint the public, well, it's amended, so it means that there's already one pending. Trying to figure out, doesn't have a listed attorney, you got a notice to appear. And then there was court minutes from June 26th. Said you were gonna get your own attorney to Judge Shoemaker on that day, then they filed an amended BOP. Are you still intending to get your own attorney, or did you want me to appoint the public defender for you, sir?
I'm still getting my own attorney.
Okay. So, you've had since June. Have you spoken with anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, this is no bond, all right? I'm gonna appoint the public defender. You can go hire your own attorney whenever you want, but I don't want you sitting in jail without an attorney, because you're not gonna know how to file motions to see if you can get a bond, okay?
You said I'm not gonna have a what?
I said you're not going to know how to file motions in the case to get a bond,
Okay.
okay? So, Mr. Matos, this is a violation of probation on a domestic battery case. I do know that probation made a recommendation. I'm not accepting any recommendation or any offer without a victim being notified. So did you want me to do the arraignment today?
Yes, sir.
And you can enter a denial?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, you're alleged to have violated condition 8 of your probation by failing to pay $50 per month cost of supervision for the months of January 2019 through April 2020. Currently $200 in arrears. Violation of special condition, failing to comply with the condition of collections program as of April 10th, 2020, as ordered by the court on December 9th, 2019, and instructed by your probation officer. Violation of special condition, that you were terminated from the Batterers Intervention Program on April 4th, 2020, and that you did commit the offense of grand theft of a firearm on or about August 26, 2020 in Lake County, and that you committed the offense of unlicensed carrying of a concealed firearm on or about August 26, 2020 in Lake County. So we're gonna enter a denial. You do have the public defender. You can always hire your own attorney, but they'll be able to file any motions to set bond for you in the case, okay?
You said in the case?
In the case.
Were we doing the arraignment?
Tell me your name.
Scott Dallas.
Mr. Dells, you're here in 2019 CF 8415. It's a violation of community control pursuant to a warrant. The judge did set your bond at none. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You'll see Judge Whitehead for an arraignment. You do have reporting requirements, and you also have 2020 CF 109778. It's possession of cocaine, I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender in that case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, as well as reporting requirements. Your bond is set at 1,000. Thank you, sir.
If any questions come up, call your public defender.
Please tell me your name.
Patricia Middlebrooks.
All right, Ms. Middlebrooks, you're here in 2019 CF 6131AO. It's a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And also 2019 CF 6132AO as well. There's no bond in that, and I'll appoint the public defender. You'll see Judge Whitehead on your cases in a couple days for an arraignment, and the public defender can file a motion to set bond for you, okay?
Okay, who's,
Medical, okay. Thank you. Okay. I had Daniel O'Brien next.
What's the name?
Are you Daniel O'Brien?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. All right. Can you state your name for me, sir?
Daniel O'Brien.
All right, Mr. O'Brien, I've got a couple cases here. 2018 CF 12253. And that is a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. I believe you'll see Judge Whitehead for an arraignment in that case.
Your Honor, I believe I have an attorney for that.
Okay,
Thomas Murphy with Corey Cohen Law Firm.
okay, let me make sure he's filed a notice of appearance, okay? Is he representing you on all of the cases?
Yes, ma'am, except for the new ones, but the 2 violation of probations and out of Seminole County as well and out of Volusia. I just haven't had a chance to speak with him about the new ones.
Okay, I do see, Tom Murphy has filed a notice of appearance, or he's in the case. Let's see when he filed it. All right, so I will not appoint the public defender for you in that case. Your bond will stay set at none, okay? And you'll see Judge Whitehead for that case as well. Then I've got 28, I think this might even be the same case. Yeah, a lot of them are some of the same cases because of the new law. So 2018 CF 12253 as well. There's the on-view violation of probation for the new law or violation of burglary to an occupied structure to Dick's Sporting Goods at, and so there's probable cause for that. And Mr. Murphy will, you're saying that you're gonna, do you want me to, well, you already have him on the case, so that's.
Yeah, that's a new one, but I'll have to talk with him about that. I just haven't.
Well,
had a
he's
chance.
already on, it's the same case number, so he's already on the case.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was confusing myself, so.
Yeah.
All right, and so you'll see Judge Whitehead, the bond will stay set at none in that case, and then you've got, they filed in, I don't know why they're filing another on view. Oh, it's for, I don't know why they did separate affidavits, but okay. So there's also the on view in the same case number. Mr. Murphy does represent you in that case. There's probable cause for that as well. And so, same thing, you'll see Judge Whitehead, then they filed another one, and there's probable cause for that.
Same case number?
Same case number.
Okay.
So my guess is that they'll do an amended violation of probation affidavit warrant, okay? And it'll all be in one warrant, all right?
For all of those Orange County ones will all go.
I believe so. I can't tell you for sure, but that's usually how that works, is it'll all go into one violation of probation warrant, okay, affidavit.
Okay, thank you.
And so that bond will also stay at none. and Mr. Murphy is on that case. Okay, now we've got a different case number, 2020 CF 10255 AO, and this is a warrant for a violation of an injunction of protection against dating violence and aggravated stalking. And that was, a probable cause was found pursuant to the warrant. Now, do you want me to appoint the public defender in this case, or do you believe that Mr. Murphy has filed a notice of appearance for you or is representing you in this case?
I haven't had a chance to speak with him. I just found out about that when I went in, but I would like to talk to him about that and see if I could add it on.
Okay. Okay, so, I'm gonna order that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. Do we have a no contact order for him? It is technically a DV case. So I'm gonna have you sign the no contact order. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. You're to abide by the injunction in 2019 DR 6312. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am gonna set your bond at 15,000 on count one. Or, I'm sorry, are we doing count one as in the warrant or on the affidavit? 'Cause they're switched. So it should be violation of the injunction, count one. So I'm gonna set that, I'm sorry, at 2,500. Count two will be the 15,000. I don't know why they put it on the affidavit backwards, but.
So you want the aggravated stalking at 15,000?
Yes. Did you understand everything on the no contact order, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so what I'm gonna do is, because you haven't hired Mr. Murphy, and I don't think you want the public defender just yet, so I'm gonna set you for a determination of counsel hearing, just in case because you're gonna be sitting in jail, okay?
Yeah.
On the violations of probation. So, if you haven't spoke with Mr. Murphy, within a week or so, then we can readdress maybe the public defender, all
Okay.
right? So I'm gonna set you for a determination of counsel hearing in a week on this one, and then as well as on the next one. That's 2020 CF 10944. That's also a warrant, and it's aggravated stalking after an injunction and sexual cyber harassment. And probable cause was found pursuant to the warrant in that case. And so, same thing, no contact with any victim in the case directly or indirectly. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Abide by the injunction in 2019 DR 6312. Your bond on count one is 15,000 and count two will be 150. And I'll set you for determination of counsel again as well in that case in a week. Now I've got 2020 CF 10945 AO. It's a burglary of a structure. I do find probable cause. And do you as well? Same thing, you want me to set you for you want to talk to Mr. Murphy? Okay. So you can't return back to the Florida Mall at 8001 South Orange Blossom Trail, anywhere at the Florida Mall. No contact with victims or witnesses in the case. And the bond will stay at 5,000 in that matter. We'll set you for a determination of counsel in a week. 2020 CF 10942 AO. It's a burglary of an occupied structure and trespassing in a structure or conveyance. There's probable cause. I'll set you for determination of counsel in a week. No return back to the Florida Mall.
Those are different charges?
Yes, you have the Crayola experience as well as Dick's Sporting Goods, okay? So that's also the 8001 South Orange Blossom Trail. No contact with any victims or witnesses, 5,100 are the bonds. Then you've got a Volusia County, Ada County warrant. The judge did set your bond at $5,000 in that case. Normally we would appoint the public defender, okay, on the Ada County stuff because they're not transporting people, I don't believe.
I believe Mr. Murphy's on that case already. I believe
Okay.
I've retained him for that
So,
case.
we'll just, we'll keep this one with the other ones,
Okay.
okay, and make sure.
Okay.
We'll reach out to Mr. Murphy as well, okay,
Okay.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
And so that, we'll set him for a DOC, but you do have a bond in that matter as well, $5,000. Yeah, because I wanna make sure that they're kept together, and if Mr. Murphy's not on the case, we have to appoint the public defender pursuant to the administrative order, okay? So Seminole County, out-of-county warrant, same thing, we'll keep it together with the other ones. You do have no bond in that matter, and you think Mr. Murphy's on that
He
as
is on that
well?
one, yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll just make sure, so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then there's another Seminole County, and this is the on-view violation of probation for the Seminole County case. And so there's probable cause. We'll keep this one as well with the others, and there is no bond at this time on that case as well. So, we'll get with Mr. Murphy, and also, you might wanna let him know when you talk to him that we're setting you, what day is the DOC hearing? The 18th? Okay?
Yeah.
So, you're gonna bring you back here on the 18th, all right, to make sure that you have representation. I just don't want you sitting in there in jail and not having anybody to do anything for you on the cases, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Thank you much.
Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna appoint the public defender. It's a Seminole County case. Mr. Matas, do you wanna waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and there's no bond in the case, so we'll set him for a status hearing at some point in the future, and Judge Carter will contact Seminole. Good morning, tell me your name.
Robert Cohen, Your Honor.
Mr. Cohen, you're here in a Pinellas County, out-of-county case. Judge in Pinellas did set your bond at none. And so I'm gonna appoint the public defender here. We will reach out to Pinellas County to see if they will give you a bond. But you do have also reporting requirements that I have to advise you of, and you can reach out to the public defender. They can help you figure out what's going on with your case too, okay? So we'll probably see you back here in about a week or so.
No. Your Honor, I'm not understanding what's going on.
So you have, you have a warrant out of another county. You were arrested on that warrant. I'm not a Pinellas County judge. The charges appear to be violations of probation for lewd and lascivious molestation. So it's a violation of probation.
Well,
okay?
that was the charge, but from my understanding, the violation was being 45 minutes away from the monitoring device.
I don't think you should say anything on the record about what the violation is.
Oh, that's what I thought it was.
The judge in Pinellas County who has jurisdiction over your case, which I do not, has set your bond at none. So I've appointed the public defender here. As I stated, we will reach out to the judge in Pinellas County to see if they want to give you a bond. If they do, we'll bring you back. If not, we'll still bring you back and we'll let you know. But the public defender has been appointed. They can file any motions for you or coordinate with Pinellas County. I don't know if Pinellas County will come and get you, okay? Some counties are coming to get people now and some are
So-
still not.
I'm going to be staying here.
So contact the public defender if you have any legal questions. Tell me your name.
Simone Henry.
Ms. Henry, you're here on a Lee County warrant. The judge in Lee County did set your bond at none. And so I'll appoint the public defender here to represent you. And as I told the other gentleman, they can help you out. They can file any motions for you, but we will reach out to Lee County to see if they will give you a bond, okay? You'll probably be back here in about a week or so. All right, I'll appoint the public defender. It's a Volusia County warrant. Mr. Matos, there is a bond you want to waive.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's $10,000 bond. Tell me your name, sir.
Nicholas Pastor.
All right, Mr. Pastor, you're here on a Seminole County warrant for a violation of community control. And the judge did set your bond at no bond in the case. So we'll reach out to Seminole County to see if they want to modify the bond. But the public defender will be appointed here for you.
Yes,
So you
ma'am.
can reach out to them if you have any questions about anything. You should hear back from us in about a week or so, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are we ready on the 33 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Mr.
2020 CF 9342AO, Steve LaGorgia.
A notice of non-filing on September 10th.
All right, that will be granted. 2020 CF 7386AO, Albert Antonio Williams Jr.
A notice of non-filing on September 10th.
That will be granted. 2020 CF 9580, Patrico Gurrier.
Request for administrative transfer and misdemeanor information, copies of which have been provided to Defense Counsel.
Do you have a date, just so I can put that on the order, that it was stamped?
September 8th, Your
Okay,
Honor.
thank you so much.
I don't know if that's the date that it was stamped. Can you look at that, Mr.?
September 9th?
September 9th, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That will be denied. 2020 CF 9478AO, Lucius Jerome Woodard.
A notice of non-filing on September 10th.
All right, that is granted. Okay, 2020 CF 9479AO, Lucius Jerome Woodard.
A notice of non-filing on September 10th.
All right, that will be granted. 2020 CF 9566AO, Carleaf Marquise Troche Jr.
And information was filed on September 9th. Filing ID is 1131-39752.
That will be denied. All right. So all we have left are our felonies,
Yes.
and there's 30 of them.
Yes.
Dexter, how much time do you guys need?
1 o'clock is good for us.
Okay, let's do that, and we'll come back at 1, okay? All right.
Good afternoon. Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
Good afternoon, Pedro Matos with the Public Defender. It's probably Anderson.
Tell me your name, please.
Anderson Nacy.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 CF 10889. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for armed robbery with a firearm and a mask. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. And this is a punishable by life felony. Ms. Bush, did you want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask the court to take into consideration the facts that are listed in the affidavit to issue a warrant. It's a signed document. In that affidavit, the facts are established that 3 individuals did commit an armed robbery with masks on of a local business. Those facts also contain facts about a video surveillance where law enforcement was able to see the defendants as described by the victim. And through investigative means, law enforcement was able to identify first one defendant, and then they were able to identify the 2 remaining defendants, of which Mr. Annecy was one of those 2 remaining. State would ask the court to find that proof is evident or presumption is great based on those facts contained in the affidavit, that Mr. Anderson Annecy is the person so identified, and hold him at 0 bond with a finding of proof evident or presumption great.
All right, Mr. Matos?
Your Honor, we'll leave it at the court's discretion at this time.
Okay, I don't find proof evident presumption great based on the contents of the affidavit. The only thing linking him is a co-defendant statement. There's nothing else. He's not identified on the video, nor did any investigation occur thereafter as to this individual, other than just the confession from the co-defendant. So I am gonna give him a bond of $50,000. No return back to the Shop and Go convenience store at 714 North Hastings Street. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Mr. Annecy may want to listen to what I'm saying. No contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Mr. Annecy, do you own a passport?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're gonna have to surrender that to the clerk's office. Is there anybody that can obtain that passport for you prior to you being released?
No, ma'am.
No, okay.
Because
So-
I don't have my phone. I can't call
okay,
nobody right now.
So you're gonna have to surrender that within 24 hours to the clerk's office, okay? And I believe that they are open here at the jail tomorrow if you do post your bond today. They should be here until what time? What time are you all here at the jail? Until whenever we finish. Okay, so, but if you're not able to post your bond, then I think they're here Sunday too, or Monday, and that's also the downtown courthouse clerk as well. So you would have to surrender that, and if you've advised me that you do own a passport, so you will have to surrender the passport.
Anything happens, call that number, talk to your attorney.
Can I ask you a question? Can I get my phone so I can get a number for my phone because I don't have nobody calling me?
What do you mean?
Because they have my phone.
I talk to your attorney, you know, you get it. You're good to go. That's your phone.
Thank you, sir. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Good afternoon, Catrice Beckford.
All right, Ms. Backford, you're here in 2020 CF 9355AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias. Probable cause was found. The state did file an information for possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. As it relates to the out on release case, I'm not taking any action. I believe this incident stemmed from the same date of the arrest in the other case, okay? So when I looked at the affidavits, it was the same date of the arrest, okay? So I'm not taking any action. I will tell you, Ms. Backford, if you come back again and you have another case, it's probably not gonna be a good day, all right? I'll stay the bond, set in the KPS, I think, what is it, 1,000 and?
500.
500?
Okay, can I ask you something? And the officer told me.
Next person, Quinn Benjamin, is medical, Your Honor.
Medical?
Medical.
Medical, okay. All right, I'm gonna
He's a new charge.
appoint the public defender in 2020 CF 109339AO and in 2020 CT 5594AO. Mr. Matos, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so, the first case, that I mentioned was possession of MDMA. There is probable cause. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and that bond will stay at 1,000. And then there is the traffic case, which is driving under the influence, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, that bond will stay at 500. All right, good afternoon, tell me your name.
Terrence Carter.
Mr. Carter, you're here in 2020 CF 10975AO. You are arrested for trafficking in fentanyl 4 grams or more, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and resisting an officer without violence. I do find there's probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am staying the bond at 100,000 on count 1 and 150 on counts 2 and 3, 100 on count 4. All right, good afternoon, tell me your name.
Robert Chapman.
Mr. Chapman, you're here in 2020 CF 10906AO. This is a warrant. Probable cause was found for failing to report or check in with 30 days, within 30 days as a transient sexual offender. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. So I'm gonna order just that you,
I did register,
You-
ma'am.
okay,
I
if you
just
have a
relate.
if you have a defense, then that's fine, sir, but I'm not gonna argue about, there's already probable cause in the warrants, I can't readdress that. So, the judge who signed the warrant ordered pretrial release, I'm striking that with weekly check-ins. But you must register, or do what you need to do in terms of your reporting requirements within 48 hours of your release, okay? You understand?
No,
Okay.
really.
So the reporting requirements that you have to report to the Department of Motor Vehicles, correct?
Uh-huh.
And the sheriff's office,
Okay.
right? Okay, so you're gonna have to do that within 48 hours of your release, okay? Or you're not in compliance with the court order, all right?
Okay.
And I'm setting your bond at 2,500. So I'm striking the pretrial release. I need to break that. Oh. Right, but that's still on there. I know, but I'm striking it.
That's why I said delete the weekly checking commission.
Where does it say delete? Oh, delete, okay. I can't cross it out? Okay. I usually do that. Okay. Somebody might, I mean, I feel like people miss those things and then they just read it. Okay. I understand. All right, tell me your name, please.
Jakari Clark.
All right, Mr. Clark, you're here in 2020 CF 6768. You failed to appear for a determination of counsel hearing on August 13th, 2020. The judge did forfeit your bond and set your bonds at none. And so, does he have the public defender? Well, no, you don't, because it was a determination of counsel hearing.
Yes,
So I'm
ma'am.
gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I can't change your KP as Mr. Clark. PD's office is gonna have to file a motion to set bond with, looks like Judge Barber, okay?
The next one, Your Honor, Daniel Crowder is medical.
Okay. I'm gonna appoint the public defender for Mr. Crotty, 2020 CF 4392. That was a warrant. Mr. Matos, do you wanna waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's burglary of a dwelling, grand theft third degree, dealing in stolen property, and receiving money from a pawnbroker by false verification. So, no return to any pawn shop, no contact with any victims or witnesses in the case, and no return back to the victim's residence. The bond will stay at 10,000, count 2, 150, count 3, 150, count 4, 150.
Next person, Your Honor, which was, Jane Doe, but her name is Mia Williams, is behavior.
Okay, is that Jane, I had Jane Doe,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah.
Okay,
What's her name? Mia Williams.
Mia Williams.
I gave you the.
She's medical.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, it was under my stuff. Got a lot of
Behavior.
stuff here. Thank you. Okay. All right, so Mia Williams, you said is medical?
Behavior.
Behavior, okay. So I'm gonna find her behavior to be a waiver, appoint the public defender. Mr. Matos, do you wanna waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, 2020 CF 109698. It's a burglary of an occupied dwelling, petty theft, criminal mischief, less than 200, and resisting an officer without violence, and there's probable cause. All right, that bond will stay at 5,000, 100, 100, and 100. She's not to return back to the victim's residence or the scene of the offense. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
James Ford, James Edward Ford.
Mr. Ford, you're here in 2020 CF 1098280. It's possession of alprazolam. I do find there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond will stay at 1,000. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Ms. Goodman?
He's asking if there's any way you can lower the bond since he has no money.
All right. So, Mr. Matos, I'm showing, I don't know how many AKAs. I'm showing 13 felonies, 36 misdemeanors, 34 unknowns, 2 Department of Corrections, 1 failure to appear, out-of-state convictions.
Judge, I've got
I mean,
no-
if you want to present me testimony, you just asking me to lower a bond is not enough information, especially when I'm looking at a face sheet where,
We can ask, Your Honor. May I inquire to the defendant?
please raise your right hand, Mr. Ford.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Ford, are you from here, from Orlando?
I've been here 35, about 33, 34 years.
I can't hear anything you're saying, Mr.
I've been here about
Ford.
33, 34 years.
And where do you live, Mr. Ford?
534 Charles Court. I'm a,
Answer the question.
yes.
And do you own a house there?
No, I stay with my girlfriend, but I'm finna get a house through the VA The VA just not, next week I go get a house through the VA.
Are you a veteran?
Yes.
And do you have any property?
No, but I got all my paperwork to get my housing and everything and disability.
So how much money do you have?
I get a Social Security SSI check. I got to go Monday for Social Security to get Social Security check, and I get a check from the VA first of the month.
How much money do you have in savings?
I don't have any money savings.
And how much money are your checks for?
About $1,000 so far.
For total?
About 1,100 and something. Yeah.
Your
I don't
Honor,
have it now.
you, based on the information.
Well, let me, hold on, let me let Ms. Bush ask him some questions, okay?
Mr. Ford, you said that between your veterans check and your Social Security,
SSI.
you-
I go
the
get.
SSI,
I go
between-
Monday for Social Security. For the.
Okay. Between your SSI
Mhm.
and your veterans benefits, you make about $1,100 a month, is that it?
To be exact, I make about $750 or something like that. But I go back Monday to Social Security office and then get an increase. I just got the letter. I made an appointment yesterday.
Okay, so you're anticipating an
Yes,
increase?
I will. It will be.
And you said right now you live in a room
Yes,
with
ma'am.
your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you contribute to the bills?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the monthly amount of the bills that you pay?
Maybe about 600. I pay $3 on the rent every month, and I pay the light every week. We on a plan for the lights every week.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have a car?
No, ma'am.
And do you, you said that you don't have a savings.
No, ma'am.
Do you have a checking account?
I got to get one in order to get my house through the VA. So I'm gonna go to the credit union. I had a identity theft before.
Okay.
And so that's why I didn't have my credit no more, because identity theft.
Okay.
It's in way of, but now I'm gonna go to the credit union and get one with the credit
Okay.
union.
So your checks aren't direct
Paper.
deposited?
No, ma'am.
They just mailed to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Mr. Ford, have you reached out to, is it your girlfriend that you live with?
I couldn't get in contact with no one.
I'm asking, have you tried to reach out to anybody?
Yes, ma'am, I tried, but this number they gave me wasn't working, and I couldn't get a hold of no one last night. I tried 1,000
The
times.
person that you live with, who is that?
Catherine Graham.
Okay, and you don't know her phone number?
Yes, I know it. But this number, they didn't even give me the free phone. I couldn't.
Okay, but you haven't had an opportunity to reach out, right? Is that
Yes,
what you're
ma'am. I
saying?
tried to with the free phone last night, this morning.
What happened?
Just the invalid phone number. I
What?
told.
You couldn't dial the phone number?
It was invalid, the number.
Okay, so the number's not working, is what you're
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
Okay.
I
Do
tried.
you have any family?
In South Carolina.
Okay, have you reached out to them?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, what is the bond that you can afford?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have any money. I can afford it on the first of the month. I don't have nothing to do in this time.
All right,
I
so,
just wanna-
Mr. Matos, what are you asking me
I
to do?
just-
Your Honor, just based on the spaceship, I don't know if he qualifies for PTR or ROR.
I don't think he's qualifying. They're unable to reach anybody. They're unable to verify any community ties. He says he's been here for 34 years, or? How many years have you been here?
30 years.
30 years, okay.
32 years, maybe.
Your
What
Honor,
are you asking me to do?
I want to get.
I'll ask you to release him on his own recognizance. He's been here for 32 years. He's just going back to his girlfriend. He'll make sure he shows up to the next.
All right, Mr. Ford, I'm gonna release you. If you don't show up to court, you know you're gonna get a warrant.
Thank you, Jesus.
You know you're gonna get a warrant, right? If you
I
don't
get
show
killed,
up?
I'ma show up.
Okay.
Thank
No
you,
drugs or
Jesus.
alcohol.
Thank you, Judge Smith. Bush.
Call that number if any questions come.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you have a good weekend. You know you love me. Oh, Mr. Ford. Okay.
He's running circles of joy back there.
Well, I made somebody's day today. That's not usual. All right, please tell me your name.
Annie Kathleen Goodwin.
All right, Ms. Goodwin, you're here in 2020 CI 4800 CO, and it was a failure to appear for a motion hearing on June 18th, 2020. The judge did revoke your release and set your bond at none on all 3 counts. Does she have the public defender or an attorney on the case? Obviously, there's an attorney if there was motions. So. No? All right. Let me see.
They're gonna appoint it right now.
Ms. Goodwin, do you have an attorney on the case? Because it was a motion hearing, and then the clerk is saying that there is no attorney.
Your Honor, I never got any. I was in rehab, so I was unable to show up, and I never got a lawyer because the first 2 the co-defendants on my case got the public defender and then the regional conflict counsel.
So it looks like it was a motion to revoke your bond filed by the state, and then that was, the notice of hearing was sent.
I was in rehab
Trying to
in
figure
South
out what
Florida.
happened.
Yeah,
When were you in rehab?
I was in South Florida in Boca, called Banyan Boca. I was there I got out on August 30th.
Okay, so the problem I'm having here is that there is a motion to revoke bond based on violations of the pretrial.
And I spoke with the detective. Oh, sorry.
Hold on. I'm just telling you what the motion says, okay? So, I'm not gonna change, and I can't change the KPS. So what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Matos can contact whoever's gonna be handling the case. And then you'll have to see the judge in Division 15, which is Judge Wilson, okay? So, I can't change her KPS. All right, so Mr. Matos, I'm sure will get with whoever's representing you in the case and get them to file a bond motion, but I can't change that today, okay? They'll put everything in there about the rehab and all that, okay?
This is. You won't have a problem.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day. Tell me your name.
Mr. John Gray II.
Okay, Mr. Gray.
I just been here, ma'am, and they got me for the same thing.
Okay, hold on. I do see that. All right, you're here in 2020 CF 1095280. You're arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender.
But, I have,
Hold on. You have the PD. They're standing next to you. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't talk to me, but you can talk to them unless they want you to talk to me. So I've read the affidavit, and Mr. Gray, I read the other affidavit. No contact with any victims or witnesses, no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Your bond on this case will be $2,500. I am revoking the release in the other case, setting the bond at none. You do have the public defender in that case. They're gonna have to file a bond motion for you.
You gonna call that number for a bond motion? I will send them an email and let them know that your bond was also revoked.
okay, if how my bond was broken, I got the
We have to call
Well,
Mr.
because-
Parker
on the bond.
on this one.
It says that it's still revoked.
Is that
You're
Mr.
here
Green
until
behind him?
bond motion is.
On this way.
Are you Mr. Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna call Mr. Barker. He's representing you, okay?
Here, no warrant.
this the victim for this case, Ms. Bush? I see somebody coming in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It is.
Mr. Barker, this is Judge Wish. Are you there?
Yes, good afternoon, Judge Wish.
Good afternoon. Okay, I have Mr. Green in front of me, and then I also have a witness present as well, okay?
Very good.
Okay, so can you state your name for me, sir?
Brian Green.
All right, Mr. Green, you're here in 2020 CF 8310AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias. The state did file an information, and a judge did find probable cause for false imprisonment and battery, and I believe these are somewhat of a dating situation. And so, Mr. Barker, have you filed a notice of appearance or intending to do so?
We filed a notice of appearance a couple of hours ago.
Okay, perfect, excellent, all right. And then I do have a witness present. Ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, and I need you to get close to the microphone, and you can put your hand down. Just speak as loud as you can because we have to have him here as well, okay?
Okay.
Can you state your name for me and spell your last name?
Jamila Payne, last name Payne.
All right, Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Payne? Hi, Ms. Payne. How do you know Mr. Green?
We're dating. We've been dating for a year and a half.
And are you afraid of Mr. Green?
No.
Do you want to have contact with Mr. Green while this case is pending?
Yes.
And you said you've been dating for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of the year and a half, have there been any other instances of violence in your relationship?
Other than the one that's right.
Other than the one that we're here on today?
There was one other incident for stalking in a while back, but that was
Okay.
just a misunderstanding.
So there has been, there have been other issues over the course of the year and a half.
It was only 2 issues, yeah.
Okay. And if he is allowed to have contact with you, would you feel comfortable if something like this were to happen again, or if you told him that you didn't want him to bother you and he continued to try to get in touch with you, would you feel comfortable calling law enforcement?
Yes.
Do you believe that alcohol or any kind of controlled substance contributed to his behavior in this case that we're here for today?
It contributed to my behavior, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. But you don't believe on his part that
I
it
don't know,
contributed?
yeah.
All right. I have no further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
I mean,
Mr.
thank you.
Barker, did you have any questions for Ms. Payne?
Not at this time, Your Honor. No,
Okay.
thank you.
I just had a couple questions. So this incident is alleged to have occurred back in December of 2019. Are you living together now?
No.
Okay, so you have separate residences?
Yes.
Are you still dating?
Yes.
Okay. And you're telling me that you're not in fear?
No.
Has anything happened since this incident?
No.
No, law enforcement has not been
No.
called?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
All right, and when you referenced the stalking incident, I didn't see any arrests or anything like that.
Yeah, I just called the cops and they just came and I was supposed to go down and make a statement, but I never went.
Okay, and that was before this particular incident?
Mhm.
Okay, and so since this incident, there's been no issues?
No,
And you
no
want to have
issues.
contact?
Yeah, we have an understanding now.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Green, I'm gonna allow you to have non-hostile, non-violent contact. okay? That means no punching, kicking, biting, scratching, getting in her face, being disrespectful, saying mean things to her, doing anything that does not want to happen,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you're gonna continue to maintain a separate residence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And you do qualify for pretrial release. I am gonna place you in pretrial release. Make sure you comply with those orders that I've indicated to you as well as pretrial release, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Don't miss court for anything. Keep in touch with Mr. Barker.
Yes,
All right, Mr. Barker, did you want to put anything else on the record?
No, Your Honor, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You do the same.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one.
Your Honor,
Hi.
I'm not sure if it's off or I'm very low, but none of the public can actually hear the hearing.
Earlier they didn't have any problems hearing anything, and don't know how to adjust the volume. Does anyone here know how to, Dexter, do you know how to do that?
Not in here.
Okay, because we had the issue yesterday or the day before, and then this morning people said that they could hear, so. I don't know, if I get closer to the microphone? Okay. I'll let AV know again, but I don't know what else to do. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Derek Harris.
All right, Mr. Harris, you're here in 2020 CF 109333AO. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000 and 100. I'm not taking any action on your other cases.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Mr. Harris, you can thank me, but if you come back, okay, and somebody sees that you have 2 grand thefts of a motor vehicle and then drug cases, then it's probably not gonna be a very nice day for you, okay?
Should be around.
Good afternoon, tell me your name, please.
Tyson Jacqueline.
All right, Mr. Jacqueline, you're here in 2020 CF 10887AO, and you were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for armed robbery with a firearm and a mask, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. You've also got 2020 CF 10675. That's also a warrant, and probable cause was found for robbery with a firearm with a destructive device while holding a destructive device while wearing a mask. And there's probable cause on the warrant, and I'll appoint the public defender. So we have 2 cases here that are both punishable by life felonies. And so, Ms. Bush, did the state wish to be heard as to bond on each case?
Yes, Your Honor. With regard to 10887, the state would ask the court to take into consideration the facts that are contained within the affidavit to issue the arrest warrant. In that affidavit, there are facts as to the description of the 3 males that entered the shop and robbed the shop at gunpoint, crowbar point, and 1 acting as a lookout. There was information obtained through investigative means after observing a video surveillance that led investigators to a specific vehicle. And after that investigation, one of the co-defendants did identify the other 2 people that were with him and committing the burglary. There are also facts contained within this report that refer to the affidavit for arrest warrant in 2020 CF 10675, where investigative leads had led them to 2 suspects, one of which was identified as Mr. Jacques Cuisine. And the state would ask the court to take into consideration the facts in the first affidavit with the identification by a co-defendant, but nonetheless an identification, and find that proof is evident and presumption is great that Mr. Tyson Jacquesine is one of the 3 individuals that did rob the Shop and Go on Hastings Street. And the state would ask the court to find proof is evident or presumption is great in that matter and hold him at no bond. In 2020 CF 10675 AO, the state would ask the court to take into consideration the facts contained in that sworn affidavit. Those facts also include investigative leads and investigative summary that indicates that based on the description that the victim gave, based on the victim's strong Caribbean accent, and based on Mr. Tyson Jacquesine being seen on social media wearing distinctive clothing that was the same clothing worn by the suspect in this matter, and also being in direct communication with the individual that was in possession of those clothing, the state would ask the court to find that proof is evident or presumption is great in that matter and hold Mr. Tyson Jacquesine at no bond in that matter.
All right, Mr. Matos?
Your Honor, the defense will leave it at the court's discretion at this time.
Okay, so as I found with the, I'm bound by the, I'm bound by the affidavit, and I understand there's a lot more information in the second case, the 10675, that relates back to the 10887, but I'm bound by the 4 corners, and same as I did for the co-defendant, I just don't find there's proof evident presumption great in 10887, based on just solely a co-defendant's admission, and nothing else. So, as it relates to that, I don't find proof evident presumption great. So I'm gonna give him a bond in that matter. And so conditions of any release are no contact with any victim, witness, or co-defendant, no return back to the Shop and Go at 714 North Hastings Street, no weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Mr. Jacquesine, do you own a passport?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is there anybody that can get that passport for you?
Yes, my dad.
Okay. So prior to any release, you'll have to surrender the passport to the clerk's office on that case. And then the bond will be also set at $50,000. As it relates to 2020 CF 10675, I do find that there is proof evident presumption great based on the affidavit in that case. And I am gonna hold him at no bond on that count. It's the same conditions of any release, which he would not be released until he got a bond from the judge in Division 15, but I'm still imposing those conditions as well as any passport would need to be surrendered prior to any release. And those bond conditions can change once you have a bond hearing downtown, but again, and this is a no return back to the Fiesta Mexico Supermarket at 134 Cimarron Boulevard. No contact victims, witnesses, co-defendants, no weapons, firearms, ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. So, Mr. Jacquesine, your attorneys will file a motion to set bond for you in the other case. If you're not able to make the other bond, they'll also file a motion to modify in that case, okay? All right, good luck, sir. All right, tell me your name, please.
Maxim Kushner.
All right, Mr. Kushner, you're here in 2020 CF 10976AO. You're arrested for hit and run, failing to stop, and remain at a crash investigation or by injuring others. So it's basically leaving the scene of a crash with injuries. And there is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. And I am gonna place you in pretrial release, sir.
Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you, Honor.
All right, have a good day, sir. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Bernstow DeGear.
All right, Mr. Laguerre, you're here in 2020 CF 1095180. You're arrested for aggravated stalking with a credible threat with a firearm. I do find that there is probable cause. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Do we have the no contact order for him?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'm gonna order no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, I do,
All right,
ma'am.
you're not to return to the victim's residence. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition, you're to surrender them within 6 hours of release to your local law enforcement agency. There was a note on the face sheet about an injunction being active but not served. I did look up that injunction. It was dismissed. So, there is no active injunction. So I can't make him abide by any injunction or have be served by any injunction. But I am revoking the release in 2020 CF 1490AO, setting the bond at none. Does he have the public defender? I think it was set for trial, so, okay, so the public defender's been appointed. They'll have to file a motion to set bond for you, sir.
So I don't have no bond.
Not on your revoked case.
Good afternoon, tell me your name.
Samuel Paul.
Mr. Paul, you're here in 2020 CF 10936AO. You're arrested for attempted burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You've also got 2020 CF 10937AO, also attempted burglary of a conveyance. And there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No return back to the Palmas Altus condominiums. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. The bonds will stay at $1,000 on each case. You're out on release. Looks like 2020 CF 4917AO, 2020 CF 5208AO. And then I'm not taking any action on the CT case. That's a expired driving license, so I'll take no action on that, but I am revoking the bonds in the other cases. I see Leanna Hartwell. I don't know if that's a public defender or a private attorney. So you're gonna have to reach out to your attorney to file a bond motion in those cases. I can see if it's the public defender or not. I don't know.
Hold on, let me to the court and ask her to file a bond motion for those two cases. If not, you gotta talk to your attorney.
All right.
Ms. Hartwell is with Corey Cohen's.
Okay, so you're gonna have to speak with Ms. Hartwell. She's with Corey Cohen's office. Do you need her phone number? Did he already leave? Oh, okay.
You want it back?
That's okay, or we can just give him the phone, I can just write it down. I just want him to be able to have a number to call. Actually, there's an order on 5/15/2020 allowing, public defender, and then Ms. Hartwell was appointed. She's with regional council.
I do see that there's,
It's weird, she's
A
with Corey
substitute.
Cohen's office and then it says regional council. So,
and
it's a little
the
confusing.
waiver of personal appearance is under Corey I. Cohen Esquire.
Okay.
But that was back in May.
I'm just gonna give him the phone number to Mr. Cohen's office.
Is that Samuel Hall?
It says waiver of personal appearance, and then it says, Corey Cohen has entered a notice of appearance and now appears in the case as counsel for the defendant. So I don't know who's, but the clerk says it's, I don't know.
And my system is showing her with Corey Cohen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give him Mr. Cohen. They can figure it out. All right, good afternoon, tell me your name.
Ronald Sanders.
All right, Mr. Sanders. You're here in 2020 CF 10991. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for 2 counts of fleeing or aggravating fleeing and eluding. And probable cause was found. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. Your bonds are set at $7,500 on each count. I'm not taking any action on the other case, and you were just here a month ago, and so if you come back, Mr. Sanders, I can assure you, it's not gonna be a good day.
Yes, ma'am. So.
Do you
my
have an
bond is
attorney on
15.
that case?
Ma'am?
Do you have an attorney on the other case? Let me see, because,
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get a lawyer.
well, do you want me to appoint the public defender until you do?
Yes, ma'am.
That way you have somebody to communicate with and you're not missing any court dates. Okay, I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you in 2020 CF 9750AO, okay?
All right.
Get in touch with them as soon as you get out, okay?
All right, thank you.
Sam's.
Tell me your name.
Scott Sanders.
All right, Mr. Sanders, you're here in 2020 CF 10981AO. You're arrested for first-degree murder. I do find there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. This is a capital offense. Ms. Bush, did you want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would ask the court to take the facts that are contained within the sworn arrest affidavit. Those facts have witness statements. Those facts have statements regarding what law enforcement saw, and those facts also contain Mr. Sanders' statement. The state would ask the court to find that proof is evident, presumption is great based on those facts, that Mr. Sanders is the person so identified in this case, and hold him at no bond at this time.
Mr. Matos?
We'll leave it at the court's discretion at this time, Your Honor.
All right, based on my review of the affidavit, I do find proof evident, presumption great. I am gonna hold Mr. Sanders at no bond at this time. Mr. Sanders, your attorneys have reserved your right to have a bond hearing downtown. You'll be able to present any evidence or any witness and for that judge to make a determination whether to give you a bond. In the meantime, while you're at the jail, you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim's family or any witnesses in the case, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to return back to the victim's residence, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Did you have any questions about any of those things?
No.
Okay, good luck, sir.
Any questions, come over as soon as you can call that number. All right.
Good afternoon, tell me your name.
Jocelyn Schwartz.
Ms. Schwartz, you're here in 2020 CF 10983AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine. Do you find that there's probable cause? I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000. I'm not taking any action on the other case.
Does that mean that I can bond out now?
You have a hold for Brevard County, so I
That's
don't know what that is.
bond there. That's what they came to my house for, and that's like they don't even want me there. It's supposed to be something.
I
stable.
have no idea what's going on with Brevard, but if they placed a hold on you, does she have a bond or?
No, it doesn't have a bond.
Okay.
Well, it's ROR.
Oh, okay. So it looks like they ROR'd you on the Brevard case, so you should be able to get out, okay?
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Here,
Mr. Sharon, okay, you're here in 2020 CF 10979AO. You're arrested for possession of a weapon by a convicted felon and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Your bond will stay at 4,100. All right, thank you, sir.
no, yes, ma'am.
In your warrant sheet.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Sorry.
Tell me your name.
Brandy Stevenson.
All right, Ms. Stevenson, you're here in 2020 CF 9959AO. You were arrested pursuant to warrant, in which probable cause was found for providing false identification or false information to law enforcement, adversely affecting another, and criminal use of personal information. And so I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm gonna place you in pretrial release. Make sure you don't miss any court dates. Keep in touch with the public defender and comply with the court order as well as pretrial release, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You'll be released today. Just take the papers, yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Jason Throckmorton.
Okay, sir, you're here in 2020 CF 10893AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for burglary of a structure and petty theft. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to return back to the Holiday Inn at 5905 South Kirkman Road. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. Your bond on count 1 is 3,500. Count 2, I'll reduce to 100. Good luck, sir. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
David Walker.
Mr. Walker, you're here in 2020 CF 10974AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine. Do find that there's probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in the case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No return back to the 7-Eleven at 8830 Rose Avenue. Abide by the trespass warning.
Yes.
No contact with any witnesses in the case.
Okay.
Your bond is set at $1,000. You're out on release. In 2020 CF 8788AO, 2020 CF 9103AO, I am revoking the releases and setting the bonds at none at this time. You do have an attorney in both of the cases. They'll be able to file any appropriate motions to set bond.
Sorry.
Tell me your name, please.
Ruth Weber.
All right, Ms. Weber, you're here in 2020 CF 10992, trafficking in methamphetamines over 14 grams, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And I do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Your bond, oh, does she? Alright, your bond will stay at 50,000, 150, and 100.
I can't get that lowered?
Well, your attorney has
Okay,
not asked
thank
me
you.
to do that. If he wants to do that, he
Oh,
can do that
please.
and then take testimony, but I'm not just,
Your Honor, can I take some testimony?
absolutely. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in, Ms. Weber?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So are you here from Orlando?
Am I here? No. I'm here visiting. I don't live here.
So where are you from?
Pennsylvania, Danville, Pennsylvania.
So are you traveling from Pennsylvania here?
Yes.
Do you work there?
I'm disabled.
So you get a check?
Actually, I work part-time as well as retail maintenance.
What's your monthly income?
1,100.
And where do you live?
Where do I, Danville, Pennsylvania?
I mean, like house, apartment,
A house.
and do you pay for the expenses in that at the house?
I pay partial for the house.
How much do you pay?
Went to like $350 to $400, depending on what the electric and stuff is.
And do you own a car?
No. I did, but I don't no more.
Any property?
No,
Do you have any savings?
no.
Have you reached out to anybody to help you?
I reached out to my husband. I just found out a little while ago, my husband is now in the hospital.
Does he have any money saved up?
He has my cards, and my daughter is also willing to help me.
And how much would your daughter be able to ship in?
Well, hopefully with what I have and what I have coming from my daughter, I'm hoping. Think I'm going to be a couple hundred short for bail, though, for bond.
How much? What is the bond that you can afford?
I would say if I could at least even get it down to 4,000 would be a big help. Would be a big help.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Ms.
I'm not
Bush?
going to go nowhere.
Ms. Weber, you said that you have a part-time,
Yeah, driveline
Job.
retail merchandising.
and how much did you say that you get from that a month?
That a month averages 80 to 100 maybe.
Per month?
$80.
$80
80
to
to
100 a
100,
month?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's included with your SSDI, and that's the 1,100 that you came
Total,
up with?
correct.
Okay. And you said that you live in a house in Danville.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the home that you and your husband own, or
No, it's
do
rented.
you rent?
Right.
Okay. And have you already reached out to your daughter?
Yes, I have.
And you said that your husband would have access as
Husband.
well to credit cards
My
and
cards,
monies?
yes.
And have you reached out to a bondsman to find out?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Okay. Do you have any other family besides your husband and your daughter?
No.
And how long have you been here in Orlando?
2 weeks. I was leaving to go back.
And you came down here on vacation?
Mm-hmm. My husband and I came, we were actually thinking on moving here, but we're going back to
And
Pennsylvania.
so your husband is in the hospital here in Orlando?
Yes.
Or in Danville?
No, in Orlando. He's
Okay.
still here, yeah.
And where have you been staying since you've been in Orlando?
Hometown Studios.
I have no further questions.
Thank you.
All right, so, any argument?
Your Honor, just based on the information that we received, that her husband is in the hospital, that she makes about $1,100 in total a month, minus the expenses of her rent, which is $400, not including what she eats, whatever she needs for transportation. With the defense is just asking the court to set a reasonable bond of $30,000.
Okay, I think her testimony was that she could afford a $4,000 bond based on what her daughter was gonna be providing her. Is that what I heard correct?
But I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because my daughter's pregnant and she's doing November.
Okay, Ms. Bush?
Your Honor, based on Ms. Weber's testimony, the state does not feel that there was any compelling testimony that Ms. Weber cannot make the bond as it's set, Your
I
Honor.
can't.
Okay. Ms. Weber, you're not from here, so you have to understand that, if I reduce your bond and you get out, regardless of what your bond is, you're gonna have to come back.
I know that.
Okay? And
I know that.
you can't miss court. If you
I
miss
know that.
court and you get a warrant and you're no bond, and then you're sitting here and you're in the worst position than you're in now. Okay?
I understand that.
Okay.
I will be here.
All right, so I am gonna set the bond at $30,000
Thank you.
and 150 and 100. If you can't make the bond still, then the PDs will have to file a motion to modify the bond, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Thank you. All right, tell me your name.
Jerome Wilkerson.
All right, Mr. Wilkerson, you're here in 2020 CF 9721. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for home invasion robbery and grand theft over 100 from a dwelling. And I believe it's home invasion robbery with a weapon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
it is.
That's what I thought, okay. So, or with a deadly weapon, okay. And so, I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and this is punishable by life felony. Ms. Bush, did you wish to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask the court to take into consideration the facts in the affidavit to issue the arrest warrant. In that affidavit, the facts are provided by the victim in this matter, the victim who knows Mr. Wilkerson, and the victim who identified Mr. Wilkerson as the person that came through the bathroom window with a machete, the person that also stole his property, and the facts also include that there was a credit card. I apologize, Your Honor, if I
Fine.
could just reread this real quickly.
If you need a moment, take a moment.
Okay, no, I didn't remember what I had been reading. But the state would ask the court to find that proof is evident or presumption is great based on the identification by the eyewitness victim who knows Mr. Wilkerson, as Mr. Wilkerson at one time had resided in the home. Find that proof is evident or presumption is great, and ask the court to hold him at no bond as to count 1 home invasion robbery with a
Mr.
weapon.
Matos?
Your Honor, at this time, the defense will leave it at the court's discretion.
I don't find proof evident presumption great based on what's in the affidavit. And so I am going to give Mr. Wilkerson a bond. It's 50,000 on count 1, 150 on count 2. No return to the victim's residence, Mr. Wilkerson. So, no return back to 2203 South Ivy Lane, no contact with any victim or witness in the case, no weapons, firearms, or any ammunition, and there's an indication on the warrant that you're to surrender any weapons or firearms within, and I'm gonna make that within 6 hours of any release from the Orange County Jail, and that would be to your local law enforcement agency. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
And, Your Honor,
Attorney asked for a bond reduction motion.
I just didn't hear, was that
Sorry?
including a no contact with the victim?
yeah, no contact with any
Okay.
victims or witnesses, yep. All right, good afternoon, tell me your name, sir.
Gary Lee Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, your attorney, Mr. Mandel, called my office and
yes,
spoke
ma'am.
with my judicial assistant and requested that the IA be reset for tomorrow. So I believe he's going to appear tomorrow for the weekend. I won't be here, but another judge will be here.
Yes, ma'am.
He said that you may know that.
Yeah, he
Okay.
mentioned something like that to me.
Okay, so we're gonna reset your case for tomorrow. You'll see, I think it's Judge Blackman, but I'm not sure, but Mr. Mandel should either be here or appear by phone, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's it. Further my bond status, how does that work?
Well, you have a hold. Looks like you have bonds, but you have a hold. So I think he wanted to address the hold with the judge, and he's not able to be here or by phone today.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's why I think he wanted it to be reset for tomorrow.
All right,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
he can make any arguments to that judge.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank
Okay?
you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Destiny Woods.
All right, Miss Woods, you're here in 2020 CF 1095780. You're arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of alprazolam, purchase of LSD, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Oh, Your Honor?
I don't know if it's purchase.
Yeah.
I just have possession.
I just had possession.
So, did you happen to look that statute up, Mr. Matos, to
I mean, I
help
just
me
don't-
out? Cause
I actually didn't look up the statute, Your Honor. I just found it weird.
I'm gonna, it's. Bear with me, there's a lot of drug statutes. sale and delivery, but that's not it.
Sub 2A says, except as authorized by this chapter and chapter 499, a person may not purchase or possess with the intent to purchase a controlled substance. And
Well, I don't know if she purchased it.
Doesn't say.
I'm just looking
Yeah.
at the verbiage that says purchase or possess with the intent to purchase.
I think there is just a possession.
And I believe that that does cover possession without, because it says may not purchase or possess with intent to purchase, but that would be still possession. I'm looking to see what the actual, because 2A does refer to LSD, so.
I've got, there's lots of statutes. I mean, it's an F3, it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, it's an F3, but I think 893.13,
0.193?
893.13.
I know I've had possession of LSD before, so.
So the sale, purchase, manufacture, delivery, or possession with intent to sell, purchase. No, that's not the one.
Your Honor, I think I can find it.
Yep.
I found it. 893.13, subsection 6, subsection A dash 7. You got it?
I got the number, what is that?
Possession of, like, sir, it's the same thing in the affidavit, yeah, it was just possession of LSD. Okay, and there's possession of drug paraphernalia, so there's probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And Miss Woods, where are you living?
Right now, I'm currently living at 4514 South Lake Orlando Parkway.
And who do you live with?
I'm currently renting a room from the owner.
Okay, what do you work?
Not at the moment, but I've been doing Uber. They have like a bicycle part that you can do. And then I also do hair and makeup.
Are you a student?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then you understand if I release you today, she didn't qualify for pretrial release?
Yeah, I updated. I gave you an
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have updated. Okay, so I'm gonna place you, I'm gonna place you on pretrial release. All right, make sure you comply with the pretrial release and with no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, okay?
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Young? Young? Keith?
A lot of drug statutes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, do we have Keith Young? Okay.
Mr. Young was mental health.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender, 2020 CF 10978AO, tampering. Well, Mr. Matos, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, he's in the hospital.
Okay, we'll reset within 24 hours of release from the, no, you're fine.
No,
And they had him out on release, but I didn't have any out on bond form, so I didn't have any gold sheets, but it shows that he's out on release on the base sheet, so I don't know. You all have that? Because if you don't have the gold sheets, I think sometimes y'all don't know that, yeah. But those are, it's correct, right?
Yeah,
He has
he's out
two
on bond.
out on release cases?
Yes.
Okay. We may wanna just put that on there, or, cause he does have the hold. Yeah. All right, is that it?
I think that's all.
Hi,
Well, everyone,
it's been a week.
best of luck.
Best of luck to you.
I'm not here Monday, so y'all have a great weekend and a good Monday, and we are done for the day.